It is January 28th, 7:14 in the morning. Okay, I'm out here to be able to express my thoughts just like very rawly and to improve my articulation, because I think that speaking to people, it's very important to know how to get your ideas across. And your whole life you're going to be speaking to people and interacting with people, and like the bulk of your big kind of events in your life are going to involve speaking to people. I'm trying to put on my glove. But do you ever feel like, okay, so what's been going on my mind was the whole thing with the cops, obviously, and just how all the events feel like it was just divinely guided, because I'm just gonna start listing the things. But the first thing is like the week that was like hard for me and that I was stressing over and that I was journaling about was like 2 days before that. Like that week I was crying before I got to school, and then even crying at school. And then this Sunday after that, the police come to my house, and out of like anything they could have asked for, they were like asking for me, which is really insane. And also the fact that like it was a Socrates essay thing. I feel like if it was another teacher, they probably just wouldn't have reported it, and they would have just like found me and like been like, hey, are you good? But because it was Miss Sal Martin, and she's very rule abiding, she went to all those extra steps. And the fact that my mom didn't answer the calls, like usually she doesn't, but also that, and like I could have submitted it any other time, and Miss Sal Martin could have looked at it like a week later. She could have looked at it today. And when that happened, I was like, this has to be for something. Like this, I feel like this wouldn't just happen out of coincidence. I wonder if anything happens by coincidence sometimes. But they called me down to the counseling, and I was like, yeah, I didn't mean to submit that, I'm fine. But then I just started crying, and I spent like half of the school day just in there venting to her about everything that was happening, even though like it wasn't related to what I submitted. Like I never meant to submit that. I feel like this is like, I feel like that was meant to happen. And maybe that I was being guided to talk to my counselor, and she was so sweet about it, and she was like, yeah, nothing's more important than this, you don't have to feel guilty and all of that. And even the day that I was crying, there were just people who were supporting me that I've never really done anything for. I don't know, I guess it's just really sweet to know that even people who barely know you, they're gonna be like looking out for you. Like strangers. Anyways, but Also the fact that she kept kind of pushing me a little bit to tell her about what happened, because I was just, she could have just been like, oh, okay, like thinking that thought I was in trouble and that's why I was crying. But I told her like everything, and that was the first time I think that I've ever done that. Like if I tell people something, it's usually because it happened like years ago and I'm over it, but I've never told anyone everything just because, like, in the moment. Yeah, I just think that all of this couldn't happen out of just coincidence because of the timing of everything.